What's up guys, today we're breaking down Keenan Cornelius versus Nicky Ryan. Keenan is a world champ and one of the most successful American competitors ever. He was once the young prodigy beating everyone. Now Nicky's that prodigy / prospect that everyone's eyes are on to see if he can recreate his brother's success. For those that don't know, he's Gordon Ryan's little brother who is one of, if not the best no-gi grapplers of all time. Nicky is in the white shorts and Keenan is in the muscle shirt. What you're seeing from Nicky is a lot of feints. He's trying to get a reaction from Keenan. He wants to gauge Keenan's reaction and response before committing to a takedown. A feint is basically when you pretend to do something. It's common in both striking and wrestling to set up attacks. Watch how Nicky times this double leg. He shoots as Keenan postures up unassumingly. See how he pulls Keenan's head down? He times the shot for when Keenan lifts his head up. This gives him easy access to the hips with minimal resistance. Keenan could try to sprawl from here to break Nicky's grips on his legs, but instead takes his own lock on the body in hopes of flipping Nicky over and reversing the position. Nicky wants to put Keenan on his back, but if he lifts his hips up, he may get flipped over. He also needs to keep Keenan's legs straight so that Keenan can't get to a real guard. They're both patient and at a standstill because one wrong movement could lead to the other advancing in position. Keenan loses patience first and accepts a worse position. He's got a loose half guard butterfly, which leads to an easy backstep from Nicky with the assistance of his other leg to help pry it out. Keenan seems gassed and out of shape, so we'll cut him some slack, but he shouldn't have his left arm up like this. His hands and elbows should be tight to his body. Nicky recognizes this and goes to attack, but Keenan quickly readjusts as he senses danger. Now Nicky is looking to staple Keenan's arm, meaning to trap it with his knee on one side and his toes on the other. As Keenan turns to his side, Nicky's options are basically to flatten Keenan out or jumping to the other side for the back. He could probably flatten Keenan out using this crossface, but instead swims his arm underneath the armpit for the body lock. These guys really like their body lock passing, but if it were me, I probably would have went for head control. Body lock passing is gaining more and more popularity because it reduces the chance of a scramble and also prevents leg locks. Keenan tries to work the Kimura, but Nicky's wise to it, and now Keenan is utilizing his T-Rex arms to prevent Nicky from grabbing his head. Eventually he does get it, and this allows Nicky to flatten Keenan out and again working his back step. The back step is so underutilized. Anytime you feel a loose half guard or your opponent adjusting, it's right there for you. Keenan is looking to keep his elbows close to his body to prevent Nicky from riding up to a higher mount or attacking his arms, and Nicky wants to do the opposite. He works to isolate an arm away from his body so that he can attack it. He works to isolate an arm away from his body so that he can either attack the arm itself or have it open up other attacks or back takes. Keenan wants to hide his back on the mat to prevent back takes and now looks to keep his elbows tight for safety. Keenan now is in a much better place to defend, but look at the mistake he makes. He lifts his arms up and Nicky takes advantage of it by bringing his knees higher for a higher mount. If Nicky could have gotten an angle on Keenan, then he would have been in trouble. Arm bars, triangles, and more, but Keenan stays calm and looks to lower his elbows down and drive Nicky back lower to his hips. A high mount is where you want to be to attack easier. Keenan bumps and exposes his back in the process, but leaves no space for Nicky to put his right hook in. Keenan Granby rolls to take Nicky's weight off of him. Most of Nicky's weight is now in his right hand instead of on Keenan. Keenan wants to hide his back on the mat. He's constantly rolling to hide it. Maybe he should have sat through to his guard right here, but he leaves his back exposed again and now just looks to make sure Nicky can't get any sort of upper body control like a seatbelt grip. Once he has some upper body control, he's all set for a chair sit back take. Jiu-Jitsu is a grip battle. Nicky's patient, just working towards taking the right grips to advance position. Keenan is a legend, by the way. Him getting beat up isn't a representation of his skill. He's definitely out of shape and rolling with a room full of killers on camera. He should get nothing but respect. And now Nicky has some upper body control. His arm is too shallow for an arm triangle. You're gonna see that chair sit back take that I was talking about earlier. He shoots his shin to Keenan's back and pulls Keenan over his hips. He should have got better upper body control first, like maybe a Kimura seatbelt grip, as he didn't control Keenan's upper body enough and Keenan gets to his knees to defend. I think Nicky just got a little impatient there and would have been wise to secure a tighter grip first. Nicky shoots for a double and must feel too much resistance to go to the inside, so he switches to the outside. He might have hit this if he brought his right arm higher, closer to the end of the lever, but instead switches to the body lock, but Keenan's overhook stops him from coming behind him. Remember, the only thing stopping you from taking someone's back ever is their arm. I don't really want to commentate a bunch of grip fighting and feinting, so I'll just speed this part up so we can get to the good stuff. And Nicky shoots again, and look how this time he brings his arm up higher, to the end of the lever. Here you can see why pressure passing can be such a better option in no-gi. Nicky's trying to pass from the outside, but it's tough. Passing with pressure is easier, but it's hard to get in on a good guy like Keenan. Especially with Keenan being so lanky and flexible, being on the inside with pressure is where you want to be, like you saw earlier from Nicky. I want to say a big thank you to all my patrons who support the channel. You guys are the best. If you want to buy some high quality no-gi gear, check out xmartial.com and use code JordanTeaches for 10% off. There's a link in the description. You can also purchase the super slick limitless rash guards you see me wear in these videos. With that said, thanks for sticking around until the end of the video. If you're still here, please leave a comment or fist bump, and I'll see you guys next time.